everyone, welcome back to my channel. I thought today I would do a reading around the Sagittarius Full Moon. I thought I would tap into your higher self to see if they have any messages for you around this time. So, just a little bit of background info on the full moon in Sagittarius. The full moon is the third primary phase in the lunar cycle and is when the sun illuminates the moon's surface. It's a perfect time to review, release, and reflect on anything that has come to your attention since the new moon last month. Sagittarius energy is mutable fire, and it is extremely expansive thanks to its ruling planet, which is Jupiter. This energy encourages you to reflect on where you may be playing small, clinging to outdated stories, or resisting change. It's a time to let go of limiting beliefs, welcoming in fresh perspectives, and trusting the unfolding path ahead, even if it's not fully mapped out yet. Be open and receptive to the various kinds of knowledge and experiences coming into your life, while consciously growing, learning, and expanding alongside them. It's the universe's job to guide these experiences into your life, and it's your job to utilize and make the most of these experiences through a mindset of expansion, helping you to create a rich, fulfilled, and abundant life. So with that being said, let's get into some messages from your higher self around this Sagittarius full moon. As usual, we have 3 piles to pick from today. I've picked 3 different crystals from my jewelry line, Angelic Drip. Follow me on Instagram if you haven't already at angelic.drip. So we have 3 piles to pick from today. We have pile number 1 with rose quartz. We have pile number 2 with Smoky quartz. And we have pile number 3 with amethyst. So pick your pile, go to the timestamps below, and I will see you in your reading. Okay, pile number 1, if you chose this rose quartz necklace, you're in the right place. Welcome to your reading. Today we are looking at what messages your higher self would like to relay to you in regards to the Sagittarius full moon. So, what I am getting first of all is there is a need to purge heavy emotions. I feel like there has been an ending recently that may have been, there may have been some harsh words exchanged. There may have been something that happened that has caused you to feel quite sad. I'm getting your higher self wants you to cry. Your higher self wants you to cry, release, and purge. There's a feeling of holding on to an ending or holding on to, as I said, like harsh words or something that was exchanged to you. There's like a shedding of an old self that your higher self wants to bring in for you. And it ties to an ending that has happened recently. So it could be like a friendship breakup. It could be a relationship breakup. Or it could just be you outgrowing your skin or outgrowing your environment and feeling out of place, but still clinging on to, things that you've outgrown. I'm seeing someone trying to put on a sweater that's like way too small for them, but they're like, and it's bursting at the seams, but they're squeezing into it and they're trying really hard to keep it. It's time to there's a side message as well. If you have old clothes, I'm feeling called out here. My wardrobe is like packed to the brim with things that I need to get rid of. I'm getting a feeling of if you've got old clothes or holding on to old things that need to be released, you need to, go through your wardrobe, do like a clean out. Our items and possessions can hold energy, and holding on to things that you don't need anymore, or things that are just collecting dust, or things that you don't fit, or don't align with who you are now, or if you're going through a style change or something like that, holding on to old things is holding on to old energy as well. There's like a stagnancy that comes with that, so there's a need to clear out emotionally as well as physically around you. Do spring clean as well of your house, dust the corners, get down on the skirting boards, like do all the little jobs that can go quite some time without doing. There's a need to cleanse your environment and make way for new, because there's a feeling of what I'm seeing here is the Queen of Swords. I'm actually seeing her heart like beating out of her chest, and I'm getting there's a need to set strong boundaries around not only other people but with yourself about what you would like for this next phase in your life. As I said before, I feel like there's an ending that you've recently been through. There's cycles that have closed up, and you need to purge it, you need to release it, and you need to look forward to the future, but you need to also have some discipline when it comes to not falling into habits and routines of what you know, to make way for things that you can create that are better for you. There's a strong energy here of creation as well. We've got Leo, we've got all of this watery imagery as well. That was the first thing that called my attention. So I'm getting your higher self wants you to heal this ending or this painful situation that I referenced before through creativity of some kind. I'm seeing dancing, I'm seeing painting. What else am I seeing? I'm seeing crafting. And I'm also seeing learning. So there may be creative outlets that you can. I'm also actually seeing, wow, that's an interesting imagery. See how this way, there's like her dresses draping down. Because it was upside down, funny thing about this, right? I pulled it reversed and I was like, I don't want to read that reversed. Why is that reversed? And then my guides were like, no, leave it. There's a reason for it, because they were trying to show me this. Aerial yoga. I'm seeing her do aerial yoga. You know how they have that cloth that like hangs from upside down? Oh my God, it's so much fun. If you haven't tried it, try it. It's so much fun. Yeah, I'm getting that could be a good outlet for you too, as a side message. That's so funny. Now I can flip it around now that I've got that message. So yes, there's a need to try new hobbies, try new things. Your higher self really wants you to explore, expand. Yeah, with this here, I'm getting like, I'm seeing this as like shackles. I'm seeing this as someone bound to limiting beliefs about themselves and running off outdated software is what I heard. So yeah, there's a need to put yourself in new situations and new environments and new places. I'm seeing someone, like, as I said, taking classes, learning new things. There's a need to honor what is calling at your soul at the moment and go for it, with the Chariot here as well. But yes, there is a strong feeling here of being disciplined as well. Your higher self wants to reiterate the importance of sticking to what you set for yourself. With the Queen of Swords, as I touched on before, that can talk about boundary setting with other people, but I'm actually getting it more or less with yourself. Set clear goals. Be disciplined enough to follow through with them. You know, oftentimes you hear people say, like, how do you have the motivation to do this every day? Or how do you have the motivation to, you know, work out or eat healthy or this and that? And it's not about motivation. You're not always going to have the motivation. What it is discipline. You need self-discipline, and you need to be holding yourself accountable. A good way of doing that, I've found, is reflecting on why you are doing it. So to use an example of my life, I've recently lost quite a bit of weight after having my 4th child. And when I set that goal to myself, I made like a little manual, right, of how I was going to do it. And the very first thing in that manual was why I was doing it. I listed all the reasons as to why I wanted to do it. You know, I wanted to be an active mum. I wanted to run around with my kids at the playground. I wanted to wear clothes that I wanted to wear and feel good in them. I wanted to, you know, live up to my potential. I wanted to be the best version of myself, essentially. So every time I dipped in that motivation, or thought to myself, I'm not going to wake up early this morning, I'm going to skip the workout, I would get that manual out and I would read the whys, and I would go, you know what, this is why I'm doing this, and this is important for me, and this is what I want for my life, and this is what I'm going to achieve. So there's a need for you to hold really, really strong boundaries with yourself about why you are doing things, to help you to continue on the trajectory of bettering yourself and getting in a better position. Because, as I said before, there was a feeling of a recent ending. Endings are blessings in disguise, because they open new pathways and new doorways, and you can choose where to go from here. You have the freedom to pick what your next adventure is, what your next step in life is, and where that's going to take you. And I'm really getting there's a need for you to be creative. There's a need for you to be expansive as well, and not limit yourself as to, oh, I've always wanted to do this, but I've never had the courage, or I've never had the this and that, never had the confidence, never had, you know, all these things. There's a need for you to do it with the fear anyway. Do it, even though you may be, I just heard your fear of looking stupid is holding you back. So, you know, it's funny. We walk around in life and think everyone has the answers. Everyone knows what they're doing. Everyone's just playing a role. Everyone is actually wearing a fucking mask. Everyone's just winging it and making it up as they go. No one has a manual. No one has a guidebook for life. People that you look at and think, oh, they have their life together, they must know, you know, so much more than me, or they must be so much more put together. I'm telling you right now, everyone is just winging it. We're all in the same boat. we're all just trying to figure out who we are, and we're all just trying to be happy and content and live our life, you know? So you make up what your life entails. You make up where you go in life. And so there's a need for you to reflect, sit back and reflect on, where do you want to be in the next 6 months? Where do you want to be in the next year? Create realistic goals for yourself. And a good thing that I've found as well is creating like staggered goals. You can have big goals for the year, you know, but then break it up into little bite-sized pieces and go, okay, so what is some things that I need to do to get myself there? So let's just say in a year you want to be selling artwork that you've painted, right? So, and you've never painted before. So what you need to do to get yourself there, let's work backwards. You probably need to, you know, get yourself in a gallery or get connections to have your artwork out there. And then, but even before that, you need to be, you know, YouTubing how to paint trees, or, you know, whatever it is that you want to paint. Looking at different kinds of paints, looking at different kind of paintbrushes, going out to the shops and buying them. You know, there's so many steps that go into that long-term goal. So using that as like the framework, and then going off that, working backwards and putting effort in every day or every week or whenever it is that you set yourself up to that is realistic for your life to get yourself to that goal. Things are only as unattainable as we decide them to be in our head, and things are only as far out of reach as we decide them to be in our head. A lot of the time when we want something in life and we deem it to be too big of a dream or too big of a expectation on ourselves, we make things out to be so much harder than what they actually are. When you consciously put effort in every single day into something, it becomes smaller and smaller and smaller. Yeah, there's a need to not overcomplicate things, to strip things down, simplify them, and create, you know, bite-sized chunks towards the goals that you want to achieve, bite-sized chunks towards where you want to be in the future. And consciously put effort into doing that. Yeah, your higher self wants you to be open to creativity, exploring your passions. I'm also getting like cooking as well as like creative outlets. Like cooking can be a creative outlet, you know, you can create beautiful food, you can make cakes, you can do all kinds of things when it comes to creation. We create every day in our lives. A lot of people say, you know, I'm not creative, I'm not this, I'm not that. We are all creators of our reality, and there's a need for you to look at where you want to direct that energy and consciously create from your heart as well. It will really help you heal from any lingering or leftover emotions when it comes to the ending that I was talking about before. And it could even be an ending of a shedding of self, a shedding of an old self. You know, you could be stepping into a new era of your life, and try to consciously remember that you create this next phase. So set it up, set these foundations as to where you want to be in the next, you know, where you want to be in the next 5 years, where you want to be in the next 10 years. You need to be putting in effort now to get yourself there. And remember that things don't happen overnight. So there's a need to stop and reflect on where you have been, where you are now, where you want to be, but also don't lose sight of the magic in the day-to-day. You know, it's all good and well to strive for something in your future, but don't lose sight of what's around you right now, and all the blessings and things that you have to be grateful for in your life right now. That just brings more of that to you when you're in that mindset as well. So yeah, I hope that I was able to give you some messages that resonated. Thank you for watching this reading. If you did enjoy it, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Feel free to vote on my poll for Monday's love reading, and hopefully I will see you back here next week for that. Bye. Hey pile number 2, if you chose this Smoky Quartz necklace, you're in the right place. Welcome to your reading. Today we are looking at what your higher self would like to say to you in regards to the Sagittarius Full Moon. Now, what I heard very, very clearly when I was shuffling was stop playing small. There's a feeling of what I'm seeing here, right? The Page of Wands is under the deck, and then underneath that is Eight of Swords. So I feel like you are really trapped in some self-limiting beliefs. I'm seeing this as like a progression from the Page to the Queen of Wands. Now, the Queen of Wands is a fiery character. She's confident, she is magnetic, she's attractive. She's like the epitome of I don't chase, I attract. I'm getting the feeling that you are running into, I'm seeing loops like that, right? And the infinity loop. I'm seeing someone just sort of running on autopilot and capping themselves, not living up to their full potential. And your higher self really wants to reframe any sort of beliefs that you have about yourself, that this is where you're kept. I'm really getting someone, I'm seeing like a box, right? And someone like jumping and hitting their head on it and being like, oh, well, I just always have to hit my head, instead of being like, hang on a minute, I can probably just push this box open and jump even higher. So I'm getting this feeling of, yeah, your higher self wanting you to set your sights higher than where they are right now. There is a cycle that wants to end, but you're clinging on to comfortability, I think it is. Yeah, side note, if you felt called to the pile before this, I would recommend checking that out, because there are some similar themes. If you didn't know, disregard that. Let's continue on. So, yes, what I'm seeing is your higher self wanting to relay to you that it's time to expand your sights higher. So you need to look at where you are capping yourself and reframe what it is that you're capable of. I have a feeling that there's like an inner frustration that you're going through about you not living up to your potential, and there's a need to realize that there's a lot of self-sabotage that you're doing through your beliefs and playing it small and keeping yourself capped, as I said. I'm seeing this here, right, as a chrysalis, and these butterflies here bursting out of it. So I'm getting, there's swords as well. So what that's telling me is there's something that needs to be expressed verbally, some kind of communication, whether it's to someone else or whether it's, you know, to the world, whether it's something that you need to share your voice in some way. There's some message or something that you have to say that needs to be heard, is what I'm hearing. And with the world there as well, I'm very much getting, like, through content creation, I'm very much getting, you know, could be starting a podcast, could be, yeah, starting a YouTube channel, starting, doing story times, you know, anything, it's something to do with your voice. I'm getting, you have this like niggling feeling of really wanting to express yourself, really wanting to put yourself out there, but maybe not thinking that you are confident enough or good enough or, you know, this and that. I need you to understand, you know, we all go through moments of self-doubt. We all go through feelings of imposter syndrome and whatnot. Like when I first started on my reading journey, I read for years for my friends and family without doing it professionally or getting paid for it, because it was just something that I enjoyed doing and something that I found came easy to me. And then once I started charging, I would feel bad. Like people would pay me good money to read their cards, and I read them really fucking well. You know, I was given a lot of good feedback about how I read and what I would give to them, but I would feel like an imposter. I'd feel like, who am I accepting this money from this person? You know, because my self-belief didn't catch up to sort of where I was at that point in my life. But now, you know, I'm putting myself out there. I'm uploading content and, you know, putting myself out to the world as well. And there does come a level of scrutiny that you go through with that. It's only normal. Everyone deals with that. But once you push past that and allow yourself to be seen, allow yourself to be heard, it's so worth it. Because I could hold myself back, you know, and I could cap myself and, you know, say there's certain things, like giving you a glimpse into, you know, my insecurities. So I have like a little lisp. I have like a hybrid accent because I've lived between two countries my whole life. And so there's certain things that, like, I hate editing my videos because I'm like, oh my God, I don't like listening to my voice back. And I do get a little bit self-conscious about that. But if I were to stay in my comfort zone of not letting anyone hear me or not letting anyone hear what I have to say, then, you know, there's people that miss out on, you know, messages that may heal them. There's people that miss out on messages that may empower them and things like that. So the way that I've reframed that is that those things are more important than me feeling insecure and me feeling like, oh, I just want to hide, I just want to be in my comfort zone, you know, and be safe. It's more important for me to express something that could potentially help someone, uplift someone, make someone's day. You know, that's how I see it. And I feel like there's a need for you to reframe your self-belief, and also, understand that everyone feels silly when they start. Everyone feels like, you know, they don't know what they're doing. Like, I will not listen to my first reading on here because I'm like, oh, like, it gives me like a cringe feeling, you know, whereas I know that it's helped people. I've been told that. I know that people are getting, you know, getting value from my readings, getting value from me expressing myself. So I will keep doing it. You know, I'll keep putting myself out there. I'll keep putting myself in a position to feel a little bit of, you know, insecurity or whatever it may be, to help someone. That's more important to me. So there's a need for you to, like, reframe it. It's important. You have something to say. That I'm seeing her like guard her throat as well. You have something to say. You have something to express. And I really do think it has a lot to do with verbally. That just wants to come out, and you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to have everything in perfect order. We live in a time now where people are craving authenticity. People are craving the truth, because a lot of people wear masks. A lot of people, you know, play a role. A lot of people show up in authentic ways. So just you showing up authentically sets you apart. Your little quirks or your little things that you may feel like are embarrassing or this and that, like, they set you apart and they make you you. Like, exposing myself again, I have a little lisp. I have like a hybrid accent, you know. I trip up on my words sometimes when I'm channeling, and these are things that I could be embarrassed about and go, you know, feel self-conscious about and not upload my videos, or I can upload my videos and someone will still get something from it. You know, people have told me they love listening to my voice and that my lisp is cute and all these things, and it makes me cringe, but it's funny how, you know, my perception of something can be so different to other people. So there's a need for you to not be so hard on yourself, not be so much of a perfectionist. It's good to have everything in order, and it's good to make sure that you I wanted to say dot your T's and cross your I's, but don't do that. It's good to cross your T's and dot your I's, but you don't hold yourself in this rigid box of everything needs to be perfect and everything needs to be in order and everything needs to be this way before I start. Just start with the fear anyway. Just do it. Put yourself out there. Especially I'm getting like very heavily content creation, or very heavily like upload something. I'm seeing someone like post. There's a need for you to share your voice. There's a need for you to share your message. And I'm getting as well, like, once you do that, opportunities will come to you that are aligned with the version of you that you're putting out there. And if it's authentic, then you have the capability to create a authentic way of being and an authentic lifestyle to yourself. But you need to take the first step, and you need to take aligned action, and you need to try and work on your confidence as well to put yourself out there. Do it with the fear anyway. But I'm telling you right now, everyone has their insecurities. Everyone has their things that they, you know, feel a certain way about that you wouldn't know unless they opened up about it. And there's a need for you to look at everyone as human. Look at yourself as human. We're all human. We're all flawed. We all have imperfections. And that's what makes us unique. That's what makes us beautiful. Like, what I'm seeing now is there's a girl on TikTok that I've seen stumble up on my For You page a few times, and she has a stutter, and she often goes through drive-thrus and like shows sort of how debilitating it can be to have a stutter and try and, you know, speak at a drive-thru. And she has amassed a massive following from that. She's made that her superpower. She's made that something that works for her instead of against her. And I'm sure a lot of her life, you know, she would have been bullied. She would have been teased. She would have probably held her voice back because she didn't want to stutter and have people make fun of her. But now she's used it as something that is, I'm sure, you know, funding her in some way, like, and even empowering her, you know, creating a following based off that. So let yourself be heard. Let yourself be the imperfect you that you are. As I said, we're coming into a time where authenticity is really valued because it's very scarce, and not a lot of people are brave enough to show up as their true self. So just by you doing that, you're already setting yourself apart. You're already breaking the mold and being true to yourself. Not everyone will get you, and you know, that's something that I've had to learn in my life, is that I'm not for everyone. Not everyone's going to understand me. Not everyone's going to like me. Not everyone's going to, you know, see me the way that I see myself, or the way that people that love me do. And that's okay. I'm not for those people. There's a need to put aside maybe any people-pleasing tendencies that you may have to please yourself and to live true to yourself, because imagine getting to the end of your life, never fully unlocking your potential and thinking, hey, what would have happened if I actually started that thing? Hey, what would have happened if I just gave it a go? Do you want to live with those regrets for your whole life? Because the only way that you'll find out what would have happened is if you act on it, and if you choose to follow what you are being called to express. You're not going to find emotional fulfillment through capping yourself and through limiting your potential. It's time to put yourself out there, as imperfect or as, you know, messy as it may feel to begin with. You'll find your flow. You'll get into a rhythm just like everyone else does. Nobody starts knowing all the answers or knowing where they're going to go, or, you know, and that's the fun of it. It's all good and well to have high expectations for yourself, but don't let that stop you from being human and allowing yourself to have human flaws, and don't let that stop you from showing up and expressing yourself. It may even, with Neptune here, have to do with like spirituality. You may be scared of what people may think if you express your spirituality or express your own intuition, or, you know, you may even want to start a channel like this. Do it. Like, there's a reason why you are feeling that call, because someone needs to hear what you have to say, whether it's an audience of 10 people or 10,000 people or whatever it is. That's not important. There's a need to let go of any judgment that other people have on you. The judgments that people make on you and the things that people think about you only really reflect themselves at the end of the day, and people only understand you from their level of perception. That's something that I've had to learn in my life too, is that people can only understand you through their lens, through what they've learned, through what they've gone through in their life. And no one in this world is you. No one's going to get you 100%, but there will be people that resonate with you on certain levels, and there will be people that appreciate what you have to say. So put yourself out there. I just heard the world is ready for you. So I hope you got something from this reading. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please don't forget to subscribe to me if you haven't already. I'll be back on Monday with a love reading. If you'd like to vote for the topic for that, I've got a poll going at the moment, so feel free to put in your vote for what reading you would like to see then. I hope to see you back next Monday. Bye. Okay, pile number 3, if you chose this amethyst necklace, you're in the right place. Welcome to your reading. Today we are looking at what your higher self would like to say to you. Now, first of all, what stood out to me first is this Capricorn symbol here, but I actually saw it as a 6, and then we've got another 6 here. But we also have Capricorn under the deck here, so I feel like there's something that you've been working hard at, and maybe you're just starting. I'm getting like 6 of Pentacles, second house here to the gift. I'm getting there's something that you've been pouring your energy into, this something that you've been really diligent in, and you may not be seeing the return yet, or it may just be trickling in very slowly. There's a need to keep going at it, is what I'm getting, a very strong message of keep going at it. There's a windfall or something that's coming really soon when it comes to you getting back what you've put in. Energy that you pour into this will not be wasted. You will receive back what you are pouring into this. Energy that you're pouring into this will not be wasted. There's a feeling of maybe feeling a little bit down on yourself because you're not seeing those results yet. This is not something that will give you instant results, is what I'm getting. This is something that you have to be working towards for the long run. So there's a need to be looking further down the track than what you are. I think if you're doing this thing for instant gratification, you will be quite disappointed. Yeah, so there's a feeling of like a project, or like it could even be something creative. It could be something that you're collaborating with other people on. And there's a need to not be so worried on what is the initial return. This is a long-term investment that you are making. This is not something that I'm seeing like, yeah, money getting put into like a pokies machine and then like this windfall coming out. This is not what we're working towards here. This is a long-term goal. This is something that will take a while to set up. And there's a need to look at it like that. Look at it in stages. I'm just hearing celebrate every win, no matter how big or small it is as well. So your higher self wants you to stop looking at what you don't have and what is far away, and look at all the little wins that you're accumulating. So if you have started a project, if you have, if you are putting effort and energy into something and watering it, allowing it to grow, it's like you can't plant a seed, right? And then give it heaps, like drown it in water and like shine a light on it and expect it to just bud all of a sudden into this beautiful, big, massive oak tree. This is something that you have to be pouring into with conscious effort, slowly but surely, and allowing it to grow in its own time. But once it, sprouts, celebrate that. Once it has its first once it grows like 10 centimeters, celebrate that. Once it grows 20, celebrate that. So there's a need to not focus on how far you have to go. Because if you do that, then your motivation will dip and you'll start to feel like what you are striving for is impossible and you'll never get there. And your mind will hold you back. There's a need to remind yourself that as long as you're doing everything that you can day to day, as long as you're pouring into this thing consistently, as long as you are giving to it, it will eventually give you a return. If you're looking at the little wins and celebrating them and not just looking at how far you have to go to the long-term goal, it'll be a lot. I'm getting the universe will be able to weave these little wins in a lot more, and you'll be able to see them a lot more, and you'll be able to celebrate the journey a lot more as well, to getting to this end goal that you have. I'm really getting like strong investments here. I'm seeing like putting lots of money into something, letting it sit, letting it pull up, and then, you know, you getting the windfall from that. So there's a need to remember you're playing the long game here. But just because you're playing the long game does not mean that you don't get to celebrate the little wins when it pulls up a little bit, when it pulls up a little bit more, when it, you know, the fact that it's growing. Like, celebrate those things. Be grateful for what you have around you as well. Be in an energy of being thankful for what you have so that you can attract more of that into your life. The more you look at what you don't have and how far you are away from this goal, the further away you'll feel from it. And if you set limitations on your happiness or on your fulfillment to be, I'll be happy once I get XYZ, or I'll feel this way once I achieve this goal, you're really robbing yourself of fulfillment that you can have right now. There's always something to be grateful for. There's always something to thank the universe for. And in being in that vibration, in consciously having that mindset, you attract more of those things to you. And there's more things that show up in your life to be grateful for. It's great to have goals. It's great to have things that you strive for, but don't miss out on life doing that. Don't rob your happiness to work yourself to the bone and stress yourself out over this thing coming to fruition. Steady, long-term action is what you need, especially with the Capricorn coming through. Capricorns are extremely ambitious. They're very hardworking. They're very much in the material realm, and they understand what it means to work for something bit by bit by bit by bit. And there's a need to reframe your mindset instead of this is taking so long, or this is going to take me XYZ to get to this goal. There's a need to reframe it and be excited for the eventual success that you'll get, yes, but also, you know, when we work at a goal and when we're hardworking, when we're disciplined, when we show ourselves that we have all these traits, that's something to be proud of, and that's something to feel good about when we can direct our energy consciously into something and it grows. Be proud of every little step. Don't just think, you know, I'll be proud once I get the end. Be proud of yourself for even starting this project or doing this thing, putting this energy into it. Because a lot of people play the safe game. A lot of people, you know, limit themselves and cap themselves and have these limiting beliefs on what they deserve and what they can get in their life. So even the fact that you are putting yourself out there and starting something, doing something, that's something to be proud of. That's ambition. That's drive. And backing yourself, doing it, putting energy, conscious energy into something, it will never be wasted. You will get this energy back. In terms of the goal coming to fruition, in terms of a project, you know, getting off the ground, in terms of a business starting, in terms of, as I said, an investment coming back to you. You will get this energy that you're pouring into this back. So try not to be so hard on yourself, and try not to only focus on the long term and what happens once you get this thing. Enjoy the journey. Oftentimes we are so focused on the outcome that we forget to enjoy the journey to get us there. And it can be just as, if not more beautiful than getting to that place. Because you can show yourself that you have resilience. You can show yourself that you have dedication. You can show yourself that you're capable of these things through the consistent effort that it takes to get something big in your life. So those are all things to be proud of. Those are all things that pour into your self-worth and pour into your self-belief and allow you to then create more in your life and allow you to channel that into different avenues of your life as well. So try not to look at what you don't have and what's not coming in yet or what hasn't happened for you yet, and look at all the things that you're doing right, all the things that you are, all the ways that you're directing your energy that are pouring into you and pouring into this project or whatever this thing is, however this relates to you and your circumstances, try and think of it as a long-term investment. It will eventually equal out. You'll get everything that you're pouring into this back to you at some stage, but don't just focus on that. Don't just focus on the end goal. Focus on all the little wins as well, all the little things that you're doing that will eventually get you to that big place. Celebrate the little things too. I'm going to use something in my life as an example. So I've been on like a weight loss, like fitness journey for almost a year now, and I have celebrated all the little milestones to get to there. I celebrated, you know, when I dropped a size, when I dropped a couple of sizes, or when I dropped, you know, X amount of kilos, whatever. The things that I've found that I'm celebrating even more now are how I can carry my kids and bend down and pick things up that they've dropped without feeling like it's a mission or it's hard. I feel strong. I feel confident in my ability to do things because I've shown myself that I have discipline and I can create healthy habits to get myself to where I am now. So that's a win for me. That's more of a win than, you know, what I may look like or this and that. You know, when in the beginning, that was my goal, was I wanted to look like this and I wanted to, you know, wear these clothes and do this and that. Now, like, that is honestly the thing that I care the least about. The thing that I care the most about is how present I am, how active I am, how healthy I feel, how clear my skin is. All these things that are byproducts of me putting effort and energy into something consistently and watching that grow. So there's a need for you to take stock of all the things that are going right, all the things that are worth celebrating, and all the things that are aiding you in getting to this long-term goal that you have. So I hope that that helped you. I hope that that made sense for you and your situation. If it did, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I have a poll up on my posts for next week's love reading on Monday. So if you feel called to, vote for which one you'd like to there. And hopefully I will see you next Monday for my next reading. Bye.